This conference will now be recorded.
So good evening team. In this Microsoft Fabric Master Program, in today's session, we will talk about Fabric Data Factory mini project. So as part of this particular Fabric Data Factory mini project, we will see creating a pipeline with copy activity in Data Factory to copy the data from New York City tax data into the Lakehouse table. In the Lakehouse, we are going to create a branch table. Yesterday we have created, and as you know how to create the branch table in the Lakehouse, that is what we are going to create a branch table. Let's say using the copy activity, you have copied the New York City tax data set data into the Lakehouse, and within the Lakehouse, you have created a branch table using the copy activity. So next what we are going to do, we are going to transform the data with the data flow in the data factory, okay, Fabric Data Factory using the data flow generation too. And today we will be writing the output to the warehouse. So we will create a silver table in the warehouse. Let's say you have created a data flow which reads the data from the lakehouse and which also reads the discount file, and it is going to do the data transformation. Finally, result we are going to save it into the warehouse. In the warehouse, we are going to save the silver table. Then we are going to configure the notification with a Office 365 Outlook. So on success of the copy activity and data flow activity, I want to trigger a success notification. So that's why what I wanted to do is I want to configure the notifications. Today we will see how to configure the notification with the pipeline to send the notification on success or on failure. So finally, we will also see how to schedule a pipeline to run daily. Let's say I have configured my ingestion, I have configured my transformation, I have configured my notification and orchestration. So now I have full pipeline is ready. Okay, my entire pipeline is ready. I want to schedule this particular pipeline to run daily. So we will discuss how you can able to schedule a pipeline to run daily. So if you see items used in this Fabric Data Factory, this mini project. So first I'll be using a pipeline, then Lakehouse for storing the branch table. We will be using the data flow Gen2 for data transformation. Then warehouse I'll be using for storing the silver table. Then I'll be using Office 365 Outlook for triggering the notification. Finally, we will be scheduling the pipeline. Okay. If you see the architecture, so this is the architecture that we are going to discuss today. Okay, so most of the stuff you are already aware. So we are going to copy the data from this particular data source. Okay, this is a New York City taxi data set that we have yesterday we have seen. So we will be reading that particular taxi data set using the ingestion. All right, we will be using a copy activity in the pipeline for ingesting this particular New York City taxi data into the lakehouse. In the lakehouse, I'll be creating a br underscore taxi data, which is our branch table. From this particular branch taxi data table, I'll read this particular lakehouse branch table. Along with that, I'll be reading a discount file. If you see, right, I'll be combining these two to get a what is the total amount for that particular trip after discount. I'll be calculating those things. Okay, I'll be doing some more transformations. After doing those transformations, I'll be loading the data into the SL underscore taxi data, which is nothing but within the data warehouse. Okay, within the data warehouse, I'll be loading the data into the uh, SL underscore taxi data, which is a silver table. Okay, after transformation, I'll be loading into the warehouse silver table. So after these two, okay, first I'll be using copy activity for ingestion, then data flow activity for the data flow transformation. Then the third activity I'll be using is Office 365. So within the same pipeline, I'll be using a notification. So notification is basically on success of the data flow. It is going to trigger a notification saying that our pipeline for today is successfully completed. Okay. So there is a like orchestration. I'll show you how the activities are connected, what activity is going to execute when. So all those things we will be discussing now. Okay. Now, if you see finally what I'll be doing is I'll be basically scheduling this particular Okay, I'll be basically scheduling this entire pipeline. Okay, let me show you now. Okay, sorry. Here, if you see, this is how it will look like, right? So I'll be using a copy activity for ingestion, data flow activity for the data transformation. Finally, I have, okay, finally, I have Office 365 Outlook, okay, Office 365 Outlook, which is basically used for triggering the alert email notification. Okay, so once you have these three are placed in a pipeline, I'll use a schedule option to schedule this pipeline to run every day. Okay, I'll be using this particular pipeline to run every day. All of you clear, team, till here? Okay, this is what exactly we are going to do. I'll start directly lab. Please let me know if anybody have any questions. Only difference between yesterday lab and today lab is, so one is you are loading the silver table data, like your transformation output data into the warehouse instead of the lakehouse. That is the one change. The second thing is you are configuring the notification within the pipeline. The third thing is you are using the schedule for scheduling this particular entire pipeline. These are the three new things that we are going to learn for today. So any questions before I move on? Shyama, Manoj, Mahita.
No questions.
Okay, thank you. So let's start with the lab now. So I'm here. So go inside the data factory team. Okay, so I'll be creating a first one workspace for us. Just click on workspace. I'll say Cloud Funded Workspace 001 and you can apply this. Okay, once you have the workspace, so our source is basically data set from the blob. So this particular blob is basically Microsoft made that particular blob as a publicly accessible. So we will be using the blob storage which is created by the Microsoft, and that particular blob storage is publicly accessible. Anybody can able to access. Our source is very clear. Our sink is what? Lakehouse. So in earlier session we have seen on the fly we created a lakehouse, but today I'll be creating a lakehouse at the beginning. Okay, so our sink is lakehouse. So I'll be saying Cloud Pandit Lakehouse 001. I am giving created. Okay, now our source we know Microsoft created blob storage. Our sink we know which is a lakehouse. In order to load the data into the lakehouse from blob storage, we are going to create a something called pipeline. Go to your workspace, click on this new, click on the data pipeline to create a pipeline. So this pipeline I'll say PL4. Okay, PL4 New York City taxi data 2. Okay, lakehouse branch. Okay, lakehouse branch. So I am loading into the lakehouse branch layer. Just click create. Oh, sorry. I think this is the same pipeline which I'll be using for everything. So let me rename it as a New York taxi data that I'll be loading into the finally warehouse silver. Okay. So the finally this particular pipeline is going to load the data into the warehouse. Within the warehouse, we'll be loading the silver data. Okay. Let it be the naming convention. Now, the first step within this pipeline is we will be using a copy activity to copy the data. Yesterday, we have directly used the copy activity to copy, right? So today I'll be using copy assistant to bring the data. Let's use copy assistant. Okay, so what is our data? Okay, our data is not this one. This is also New York City tax data, but which is a 2 GB, which is having more than 1 crore of records. It takes a lot of time to copy. That's why we are not using that. So we will be using a blob storage which is created by the Microsoft team. So select blob, click continue. So here it is asking you to create a new connection because you don't have any existing connection. You can check it, you don't have anything. That's why you are creating a new connection. What is the account name? You remember this is the name of the account. Okay, you can just put it here. NYC New York City taxi sample. So sample is the container within this particular blob storage. So I am creating a new connection. The connection name I am giving it as ls underscore blob. Okay, so the authentication type is anonymous. Anybody can able to connect to this particular block. Click next. It will give you error. Okay, don't worry, it is clearly telling, right, unable to list files, because Microsoft has given a permission to access a particular container, not everything within that particular blob. So that's why that particular container is sample. So I'm giving sample, then click retry. So when you click sample and you can see the Parquet file, you can select this file, okay, which is in the Parquet format. Okay, let it load the data. You can preview the data. Okay, so now you can see all this particular vendor ID, everything is available, right? Just click next. Okay, so here what is our destination team? We just created a lakehouse, which is our destination. Just to choose the lakehouse. So when you are like choosing the lakehouse, you know, like lakehouse also, do you have existing lakehouse or you want to create a new lakehouse? We already created a lakehouse that you can able to see this. You can select the lakehouse that you have within the workspace. Then click next. Okay, so now it is saying you want to save this data into the table or you want to save it as a file. As we know, we want to save this as a table and we want to load it into the new table because we don't have any existing table. So I'll be loading into a new table. So when you say new table, the table name I'm giving it as a br underscore taxi data, which is a branch taxi data table. Then click next. So here you can see this is the file data, Parquet file data that you are loading into this particular table. So source is ls blob. This is a connection from the blob. You are loading the data into the lakehouse. You can see the logos also. This is a blob to lakehouse you are loading. In the lakehouse, in which table you are loading, table name you can see br underscore taxi data. So you want to start immediately after saving, like start data transfer immediately means if you say save plus run, immediately it will start the run. You can see save plus run. Okay, save plus run means immediately it will start the run. Clear team? But we know, so this is expected. So now what is going to happen? It will take around a 1.5 minute to 2 minutes to copy this particular New York City data into the Lakehouse branch table. Okay, let it load because this is already aware team. We discussed yesterday also. So data flow transformation also I'll do very quickly because whatever we have done yesterday, same steps we need to do today also. Let's wait. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in between. No issues. You can just click on this copy data activity to see how many records it is already copied. You can see 2,90,508. But we know it is around 15 lakhs records we have. And you can also see the performance, right? If you just click on this, if you come down, duration breakdown here. So here you can see queue time, it took 10 seconds in the queue. So transferring time, I think 1 minute 10 seconds still it is transferring. Read time is 47 seconds. Since last 47 seconds it is ready. Just to click on this. So 9,71,000 records are copied. So as we have seen already same lab yesterday, I'm not going to query the table and see the number of records are matching with the branch table and all because we already verified all those things yesterday. Okay. Now if you see our copy activity is ready, you can just click on this 15 lakhs 8,501 records we have. Now what I'll be doing, I'll be going to this particular lakehouse 001. Okay. You can just see this is the table what we have and you can also see the data that you have in this particular table. Okay. It is just loading the preview, so it will show you some records. Okay, top 1,000 rows, something like that. You can able to preview the data. Okay, so now you can see top 1,000 rows and 22 columns it is showing. You can able to see all the data that we have. Now what I want to do, so my sources we know, like before we do the data transformation, if you see the architecture diagram, for the data transformation, there are two sources. One is the beer underscore taxi data, which we have in the Lakehouse table, and we also have another file which is a CSV discount file. So these two we need the need for the data flow. Okay, so I'll bring these two. Okay, these two are very straightforward. We just have to connect from the data flow. But once the data flow transformation is ready, I want to load the data into the warehouse. So that's why I want to create a warehouse. Let me go to the uh, my workspace. Okay, Cloud Pandit workspace 001. Here I'll be creating my own warehouse. Click on warehouse. So warehouse, you can say Cloud Pandit warehouse 001. Create it. Okay, fine. So let it come, team. So warehouse will be available by the time we complete Dataflow Gen2. So I am not worried about this warehouse. Let it create. I'll be clicking on my workspace once again. Once you click on your workspace, okay, once we click on our workspace, sorry, you need to click on our workspace is here. Okay, once you click on our workspace, you can just click on here, and I want to do the data transformation. Just click on Dataflow Gen2. Okay, so now you can see data flow generation 2 is just created. The step one, as you know, we need to just read the data from the lakehouse branch table. Just click here, click on more. Okay, so we need to connect to the lakehouse. Just I'm connecting to the lakehouse. So this particular I'm creating a new connection. A connection name, it will take just a connection. So within the same account I have the lakehouse, so I'm just logging in. You are currently signing in as this particular account. Yes, I'm signing in with this particular account. Click next. Once you sign in with this particular account, we can able to see the all the lakehouses, warehouses which we have. So this is my workspace. Within this workspace, you can see the lakehouse that you have created. So this is the lakehouse. Within this lakehouse, this is our branch table. Just select the branch table. So once we have selected the branch table, okay, you can just preview the data. Okay, you can see all the data is there. Then just click create. So what is the first transformation that we need to do? Anybody remember, Tim, what is the first transformation that we need to do? You just go to the data. So the first transformation that we need to do is, so you can also do different things, but the first thing that I'm going to do is I'll just select here. Yeah, the first
Remove the
thing
data
is
types.
we can just do the data profiling we can do. Okay, just click on home options. If you go to options, here you can see enable column profiling. You can able to see all the like main data profiling steps are enabled. Click OK. It takes some 10-20 seconds to pick the profiling details. See, very quickly it brought all the profiling details because it is just profiled for the top 1,000 rows, as you know. Now if you see, this is the column which is basically in a which is this is the column which is in the timestamp field. So what I wanted to do, you know, right, what I wanted to do is I want to convert that into the date data type. So just click on this to convert into the date data type. You know, right, why I am converting into date data type? You remember yesterday session, we need to join this particular table with the discount file. So there the key columns are vendor ID and pickup date time. Both are the key columns that we are using for joining. So that's why this pickup date should be a just a date data type. It should not be a date and time, because in the discount it is just we have a date. Okay, are we good till here? So once we are done with this, now what we need to do is, there are a lot of unwanted columns we have which we won't use it or which will not add any value. For example, if you see pickup location ID, okay, and drop location ID, there are null values. Okay, there are null values. Maybe what I can do, data profiling for now, let me stop it because I am not able to show you the actual data. So if you see the actual data, you can see there is a null. Okay, there are some unwanted columns. For example, drop off date time, we won't use it in any data transformation. So what I'll do, just to click on choose columns, click on choose columns, and here you need to say IPEP drop off date time, which I don't want. Maybe trip distance, passenger count, you may need it. Location ID, do location ID, you have seen this is null, we don't require. So like that, this longitude, latitude, longitude, latitude. So rate code ID, something like that. Whatever you don't want, you can just remove it, click OK. So for now I'm removing some of the codes which we don't require. Okay, I just removed the some of the codes which we don't require. So the next step what we need to do is, within this particular data, if you remember, we have trips with discounts, without discounts. How you can able to find the trips which has the discount is store and forward flag. You need to see, this will tell you whether you have the discounted trips or not. It is showing n because it is just loading the top 1000 rows. Now I need to say load more to get all the data that we have. So now you see trips which are having the discount is Y, trips which are not having the discount is no, right? So, but I want the trips which are having the discount. That's why I'm selecting a Y, click OK. After this, I don't want to do the data analysis for all the data. I want to do the data analysis for particular month. So that's why you can just click on this, go to date filter, go to between. Here you can just choose some timeline. Let's say I want to do the data profile, like a data analysis for 2015 January 1st to 2015 January 31st. Okay, January 31st I'll be doing the data analysis. Okay, clear all of you till here? So whatever we have done yesterday, same things I am explaining team. So there is nothing new. Okay, so this is a one flow. You can see this is one flow. If you want to collapse this, you can just collapse it, so it will be shown like this. Now further, you remember we need to connect to the discount file. So this is the location of the discount file. You can take this. Now you can just click get data. Here you can see something like text/csv. Select it. I'll be putting this particular URL here. So this connection is also anonymous connection. Just click next. So as you have seen, so it is taking a by default headers. But what I want, just click create, load the data, then we will do the further data transformation. Now you can just go up. You can see this is the data, right? If you want to apply the column data profiling, you can able to do. But what I want, so as we discussed yesterday, this is a Uber, this is a Ola. So on every day there will be a different discounts for Ola and Uber, something like that. There are vendor 1 and vendor 2. There will be different discounts on every day. What I am trying to do is, so the first step that we need to do is we need to unpivot this. Okay, so if you are converting the columns to the rows, okay, so the first important thing is you need to set the headers team. This is the headers, right? So first let's set the first row as header. For that, just click on this, use first row as header. Okay, so there are different ways you can able to do. So this is a simple way you can able to set the first row as header. Once you set the first row as header, now I want to transpose, like you want to basically convert these columns into the rows. So that's why you can just click on vendor ID and you can say unpivot other columns. Okay, 1 second. Okay, Tim. So now once we have done the unpivoting, you can see the vendor ID and that particular day what is the discount that we are able to see. But as you know, we can also rename these things, attribute to the date and value to the discount. I'm just renaming this to the discount. And date, as you know, the data type should be a date data type. So I'm just changing this to the date data type from the string. Okay, Tim. So now we have all the data, we have unpivoted. So now what we need to do is we need to basically convert this particular discount values from the actual currency to the percentile. So in order to convert that into the percentile, so what we need to do is we just have to select this particular column, go to transform. Under transform you can see something called number. Click on the number and you can see something called standard, right? just if you click on the standard, you can see division, everything is showing. I'll just divide this particular actual values by 100 to convert them into the percentile. Okay. Now we have the discounts in the percentage. Now you can see there are two data sets which we have. So I'm just collapsing this as well. But as we discussed yesterday, you can, if you want to see the steps, you can just expand this. You can see the steps that you have performed. You can able to collapse later. Now next step is we need to combine these two. You need to join these two. For that, what you can do is go to home. You can see an option called combine. Here you want to merge these two, merge and create a new query. Okay, so br underscore taxi data is your left table, your right table is New York City tax green discount is your right table. So now what type of join you are taking doesn't matter, because here we have a 1 month data, here also we have a 1 month data only. So I'll be just choosing the vendor ID. I am choosing the pickup date time. So come down, you can choose vendor ID and date here. So if you choose these two columns and these two columns, it is joining based on these two columns. Now what you need to do, just click OK. So based on the two columns from this particular discount and two columns from the taxi data, so both it will join. Once it is joined, let's go above. You can see it is saying information is required about the data privacy, because there is some information about discounts and all we are sharing. So that is having some data privacy issue. You can say continue, ignore the privacy level, check for now. Okay, I'm just clicking that and you can save that particular thing. Okay, so once we have done that, so now very important point that we need to do is within this data, if you go right side, you can see this particular discount data is showing as a table. Click on this to say from this particular table I want only discount column. You can select the only discount column. You can able to select the only discount column. Okay, so once we have selected the discount column, so now what we wanted to do is we want to add a one column to derive the total amount. See, this is the total amount they paid, but after discount, what is the amount, total amount after discount I want to derive. That's why I'll go to add, I'll say custom column. Here I'll say total amount after discount. You can just add, and this should be in a currency, as you know. Okay, and total amount, if it is if they have not paid or if the negative charges are there on the total amount, what it means is the trip is cancelled or something. So for the trips which has cancelled and all, there won't be any charges. That's why I am first checking a condition whether this total amount is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, then only we need to calculate the actual discount of this total amount after discount. Otherwise, if it is a negative price or something, same total amount only you need to display. So in order to get the total amount, as you remember, total amount into, because we converted the discount into the percentile, right? So you need to remove the 1 minus 100 minus, you need to remove that particular discount. Okay, 1 minus discount if you have done, you will be able to get this particular value. You can able to get the 1 minus discount, means you will get this particular remaining value, total amount into 1 minus discount, else total amount. Okay, so for example, they have given a 0.1. Okay, let's say 0.1 means 1% discount. Then what happens, 99 percentage of the total amount that they need to pay, 99 into total amount we are calculating to get the total amount after discount. So this particular discounted amount, which is basically having the decimals of 3 characters, 4 characters, to make it as a single character, again I'll be going into the transform numbers. You can see rounding, I'll be making this particular total amount decimal points to the 2 only. The decimal value should be a 2 digits only, it should not be more than that. Okay, once we are done with this, as we discussed yesterday again, so I pick up date time, right? Okay, so this particular pickup date time, you need to convert back to the date time. Earlier we converted to the date just because to join with the discount file, but you can convert it back to the date time. Now once all the transformation is completed, you can go to the home tab. You can see something called add data destination. Click on this. So instead of the lake house, today we are going to write it into the warehouse. You can just click warehouse. So you need to connect to the warehouse. So using the same account, within the same account, I have the warehouse. So that's why I'm signing in with the same account. Click next. Okay. So this is basically SL underscore. Okay, SL underscore. Remember, this one is called, okay, not SL. First you need to choose the within your workspace. What is this? Okay, so this is the warehouse, right? I think we already connected to our workspace, and under warehouses you can see this is the warehouse what we have. Correct, team? You want me to go back? Let me go back. Okay, so I'm just connecting to the, I'm just logging in. When I log in, it is going to show me the warehouses that I have created in my workspace. So this is the warehouse that I have created. So within this warehouse we don't have anything, so that's why I'm just selecting this warehouse. I'm saying the table name is taxi data, then click next. Okay, once you click next, you can able to see replace fixed schema. So all these values that you have here, you can able to take. Next, you can say save settings. Okay, once you save settings, very important is before you publish here, warehouse should be selected. Once warehouse is selected, you can just click publish. Okay, now you can able to see the data flow one, which is publishing. So it will notify us once it is published successfully. It will notify us, team. Just let's wait for a minute. Okay, you can see data flow one is published successfully. I think it is refreshing. If you click on this, click on refresh history, so it will tell you it is in progress. It is refreshing. Let's wait for a minute. Within a minute it is going to refresh. Once it is refreshed, what we can able to see, we should be able to see a table in the warehouse. If you see, this is a warehouse. If you click on this warehouse, under schemas, okay, under DVO, under tables, we should be able to see the table called SL underscore taxi data. So but our data flow is still refreshing, meaning still executing. So once that execution is completed, you can able to see the table here. Sometimes what happens, data flow can fail. So that's okay, it is not failed successfully. SL underscore taxi data, the data is arrived here. Okay, team. So we are successfully loaded the data into the warehouse. This is good. Now what we can do, we want to drop this table. I'm just dropping this table. You can say new query drop. I'm just dropping this particular SL underscore taxi data. If you refresh it, you should not able to see this. Similarly, within the lakehouse, I'm going to the lakehouse 001. Within the lakehouse, okay, this is the branch table. This branch table also I'm deleting this. Okay, delete it. Good. Now we deleted the branch, we deleted the silver tables. So branch table I deleted from the lakehouse 001. You can just see, if you refresh it, you can't able to see. Similarly in the warehouse, you can able to see under schemas, DVO tables, you can't see the silver table as well. So now what we wanted to do, I want to go to my pipeline. Okay, I'll be just going to my pipeline. This is a pipeline. Here I'll be using a data flow activity. So I'll just use a data flow activity. So this data flow activity I'll be using to call the data flow that we created. If you want to rename the data flow, you can go ahead and rename it. It is very easy. So once the data flow is also successful, go to activities, here about tab. Here you can see Office 365 Outlook. Okay, this activity I'll be using to trigger the notification. I'm not using any dynamic content for success records or success status and the entire mail content I'll be hard coding. Okay, for now, just go to Outlook settings. So first you need to sign in. just sign in with the same account ID. So I'll be signing in with same account ID which we are using. The account is mallayafabric@cloudpandit.com. You can use the same account to log in. Hello access. Okay, so you can able to see. So I just logged in with mallayafabric@cloudpandit.com. Now I want to send a mail. So I am sending a mail to cloudpandit@gmail.com. So if any one of you want to receive a mail, please share your mail ID in the chat window. I'll quickly paste it there. You will also get a notification. Whoever is interested, please paste your mail ID here. I'll put it there. You will get the notification. Anybody would like to share? Please let me know so that I'll wait. Otherwise, I'll just continue. Okay, 1 second. So let me add this ID. I'm just adding this ID also. But you can, Mallikarjun, you make sure you are verifying the things. Okay. So I'll say here, like daily data ingestion and transformation jobs succeeded. Okay, I'm just putting the succeeded in the subject, and body I'm saying item pipeline executed without any error, something like this. Then I'm saying thanks Cloud Pandit MS. Okay, so this is what I am putting. Once you keep all these things, now what you need to do, go to home. You need to save these particular changes. Okay, you need to save these particular changes. Once you save this, you can run this. Now I'm just running. Once the run is completed, I'll also show you as a last step. I'll show you the scheduling. Okay, till here, let's run it. So I think it takes 3 minutes to complete it. Let's wait until 3 minutes team. You can able to see one after the another.
Can you hear me?
I am able to hear you. Tell me, Sam.
Okay. So I was trying to ask some questions, but my voice was not recognizing.
Yeah, tell me. I am able to hear you now.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So basically, whatever that exercise we are doing it, that is going to be specific my username or others username. In
Hmm.
organization level, if I want to do the some settings, so those will be purely controlled by the admins, correct? So
Which one you
what
are
will
talking
happen?
about? Notification one.
No, not notification, sir. So earlier, when we were trying to connect with the DWH, right? So there, your
Hmm.
specific name is signed in already,
Hmm.
correct? So
Yes.
if we go with the project, okay,
Hmm.
if I want
Yes.
to get the data into data warehouse, how we are going to be signing with that particular account?
Generally, if you how you are logging in the office, right? So generally we will have a multi-factor authentication to log in into the account. Once you log in into the account, so maybe
Okay.
inside the services and all, for example, if you are working on the Databricks, when you click a workspace, Databricks workspace, it will take you into the another tab. There it will ask you to sign in with which account. So when you click on this, automatically it will open. Similarly, within the Fabric workspace only, this lakehouse warehouses are available. In the
Hmm.
project also, you will be logging in with your ID, right? With the same ID you will be logging in. When you log
mm,
in, and you will be able to access all the lake houses and warehouses which you have the permission. Clear?
oh, okay. Say, let's say I have deployed the pipeline. Okay, this
Okay.
pipeline is going to be deployed with my username. Is that true?
Okay.
Correct, right?
This
So,
particular pipeline is going to deployed with your username. Yeah, but everybody will have
Himalaya.
the access.
Okay.
Okay, everybody will have the
Everybody is
access.
having
You
it.
are publishing
Correct.
means yes, you are publishing, but everybody will have the permissions
Correct.
for
If
your
that
entire team.
employee who has been deployed this published, the guy has left the organization.
Hmm.
Still, the pipeline is running under that guy name, like Malaya is there. Malaya is left the organization. Still, these pipelines run with the Malaya username, or it's going to be changing.
No, 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 no. So you are basically looking the fabric is something new. It is not a something new. You just how you are doing the things in our Azure Data Factory or Azure Synapse. Same way, let's say you have developed some pipelines. Okay,
Okay.
let's think of Azure Data Factory or Synapse. You developed some pipelines,
Hmm.
and you will be publishing those pipelines. Okay,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
if you left the organization,
Hmm.
nobody can able to access the things that you have published.
That's what. How
Everybody
it
can
is
able
going. Uh,
No, everybody can able to see the pipelines that you have published. Okay.
uh,
So
Understood.
nowadays,
Hmm.
tell me.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir. So I have a follow-up question to that.
Hmm.
Underneath, how it is going to be understanding with whose name it is being deployed. Automatically, multi-factor authentication will be happen. What is
Hmm.
the username it is going to taking it?
See, you need to think of like this. Your team is there, like you have a 5-member team. In
Correct.
your 5-member team, there is a workspace access will be given. If
Correct.
whoever is publishing, okay,
Mm-hmm.
if you have
Mm-hmm.
if you have something which is basically if you have a something which is not shared, or which is basically not saved, but you just developed and you have not saved it, so in such
Mm-hmm.
cases what is going to happen is that will be only with you. But you are saying clearly, I'll be publishing these things. When you
Correct.
publish it, whoever is having the access to your workspace, all those people can able to see, right? They
Correct.
can
They will
able to
see.
pick up, I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, fine, I'll just take your question, give me 1 second. So you can see team again in the lakehouse, the branch table is loaded. In the warehouse, we can able to see the silver table is loaded. Okay, now if you go to notifications, Malikajan, did you receive the mail? Okay, now you can see here, so daily data ingestion transformation jobs succeeded, high team pipeline executed without any errors, thanks Cloud Pandit MS. Okay, so from which account we have sent the mail from this, and to whom we have sent, for these people. Clear all of you? Yeah. So now just give me 2 more minutes. Let me schedule the pipeline. It will start running. Meantime, we can discuss all the questions that you have. Okay. So in order to create a schedule for this particular pipeline, very simple. Just click on schedule. Here you can see the schedule refresh is turned off, but this particular pipeline ran at this particular time. It already ran, but schedule refresh is turned off, meaning on schedule basis running this pipeline is not enabled. So to enable that, just click on schedule run. And how frequently you want to run? Every day I want to run. I am saying daily. So what time you want to run every day? Now the time is 7:49. I want to run the pipeline at 7:50. Okay. So from what date to what date you want to run? From today. Okay. From today to maybe till uh, till tomorrow, meaning today and tomorrow I want to run this particular pipeline. Today and tomorrow I want to run this particular pipeline. In which time zone I want to run this particular thing? In the IST. You can see this is in the IST. With this particular settings, now already time is 7:50. Let me change the timing to the 7:51. Okay, now it is a daily time is 7:51, start date is this, end date is this, time is in IST. Okay, with this you can just click apply. Okay, so once you apply the schedule, you can see the schedule. It is saying next refresh in less than a minute. What it is saying? Next refresh in less than a minute, and schedule is turned on. So where we can able to see whether it is running or not is, you can just click on this. Here you can see something called monitoring hub. Just go to monitoring hub. Here, if our pipeline is going to run, okay, our pipeline is going to run at 7:51, we can able to see here. Okay, just wait for a few seconds to see that particular run. Okay, yes, yeah, you can just continue now.
If you don't mind, can you go back to that? Yeah, we can see this not started.
Yeah, everybody can see it, right, team? So you can see the pipeline started exactly at 7:51. Okay, start time is 7:51. It is started. So if you go inside the pipeline, you can able to see all the activities. Okay.
Okay. So my question was, if we go to this
Hmm.
activity, data flow activity, so when we were trying
Data
to run
flow.
that,
Okay, here. Okay, this one.
okay, and we were seeing some settings, right? When we clicked on that, your
Hmm.
name came as a sign in as your name. Okay,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
understood. Okay, so there are group of people who are developing the same pipeline, so they will also have the access to this pipeline.
Yes.
Okay, if
Hmm.
anybody is working on this pipeline, tomorrow another person also coming to that, how they are going to be accessing this pipeline? Underneath of that, somebody is being controlled and managed of all this access. So what kind of email already setting for that sign in? So my question was
No,
related to the,
see, your question I understood. Now let me ask a one question. For
yeah,
example, in data factory, I am just giving you the data factory example because you can able to understand very easily if you are already aware of it. Let's say
correct,
first
correct.
person, two people is having a data factory access. One person has logged in and he has what he has done is he just developed it and he published it. Now first person closed it, he developed. Second person, when he opened, will he be able to see the pipeline or not?
He will see that. Definitely will see that. My question is, if two of them are left,
Okay, so two of them left means we have a admin who is going to have the access to the data. See, generally what happens is if two people will not left to today, they will say, hey, next minute I am leaving. They will not leave just like that, right? So always what happens, there will be admin person who will be able to control the permissions. That is the one thing.
yes.
Second thing is when we have a person who is going to leave, there will be a backup person. Okay, we will readily make the other person ready, and we will ask the person who is leaving to give the KT whatever he has developed, and how to get the permission to these things whatever you have developed. So all these things like manager will ask the person who is leaving, right? These are basic things will happen, correct?
My question, follow-up question is that the pipeline should not run specifically based on the one person. Okay. If there is any logic underneath of that that can be controlled, just my understanding in depth of that. Okay. Is there any mechanism in underneath of anything will be controlled with that specific email IDs?
Controlling means what you want to do. You don't want to
If
allow
suppose,
somebody else to run it,
yeah, yeah. So
then you
like
don't give
basically,
the permission to this particular workspace where you have developed it, so that they will not be able to see. And if when they are giving the permission, so you can also I hopefully there is a option to say that they should not be able to see pipelines, they should be able to see only data flow. So I think that kind of options are there or not, I need to see. But if there is an option like that, you can control it. But if you think that nothing should be accessible within my workspace, that is very easily you can able to control it. But within a workspace, again, for pipelines and all, you can able to see data flows you should not see, then that we need to check whether that level of permissions are possible or not. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, team, you can able to see now whatever we scheduled at 7:51, it is also succeeded. Okay, you can go inside and you can also hopefully see one more notification you have received now. Okay, team, pipeline executed without any error. Clear, team? Are we good? Okay, team. So if no questions, then thank you all.
Thank you.